Hey, we are going live. This is the Gator Crusader. It's really cold here today. As you can tell, I've got my super cool sloth jacket. If you've watched much of my videos, you'll probably say, oh my gosh, he's always wearing his sloth jacket. Is that the only jacket he owns? The answer is yes. I live in Florida. This is pretty much the jacket that I own. I do also have like an Empire Strikes Back jacket, but it's not quite as warm. That's more for just show, to show I'm a cool Star Wars fan. Well, we are having a super good day. I got a new GoPro for Christmas. You might notice my eyes look extra blue. I got a brand new GoPro for Christmas. The cool thing about this GoPro is it supposedly goes live on YouTube through a GoPro, which means I can even put the camera underwater and we can do live shots of the gators underwater. I can't wait to try all that stuff. Of course, we would try it on a day that is super cold and all the gators are kind of sunk to the bottom of the water. But I didn't even think this would work, actually. I've tried it a couple times before and it didn't work. Today, all of a sudden, it's like, it's your lucky day. It might be cold. I know I keep saying it's cold, but it's Florida. It's cold for us. So we are now live inside the alligator enclosure. When it's live, you never know what's gonna happen. We've got George the gator right there with his head up. You gonna say hi? Thor the alligator is right here. Thor is kind of like the leader of this pen. George is hissing at me. Sam, that one's probably my favorite. His name is Sam. But what Sam actually stands for is Shakespeare Amadeus McFancy Pants. Yes, that alligator's name is Shakespeare Amadeus McFancy Pants. But we call him Sam for short. It's funny. Whenever I play classical music, Sam, of course, with the name Shakespeare and Amadeus, he loves the classical music. The rest of the alligators don't seem to care. It's just like people. Just like we like certain types of music, we don't like other types. If I play like Sum 41, which is my kind of music, George, of course, likes that. George's gonna eat the frickin' camera here. Hey, I just got this camera for Christmas. No can eat it, not yet. Right? Thor, you're not allowed to eat it. We, of course, have Chewie over here. Chewie is the name that most people like because they're like, oh, is it because he thinks people are Chewy? Probably. But it's also... it's like a play on words because I obviously love Star Wars. Oh, I guess I shouldn't be looking at the camera. I should probably be looking down at the alligators sneaking up on my knees. That's Sam once again. In the back is Fiddlesticks. And if you've watched me long enough, you will know I always say alligators have different personalities. Oh, here comes Thor again. Thor, get your head up for live stream. It's Thor. It's Thor. Isn't he beautiful? If you ever watch my YouTube videos, I try to end... oh, shoot. That was close. I try to end... holy... I almost said a bad word on live. I try to end nearly every video with the catchphrase, alligators are awesome. And my hope is, if you watch me long enough, you will end up walking away liking, maybe even loving alligators a little more than when we started. And that you will say alligators are awesome too. Right, Georgie? Right now, in order to get a good shot, I don't know how well you could see, I'm actually laying down relaxing in the gator pen, but I'm trying to get that really good shot for you, so I'm kind of all sprawled out in a sexy pose. See, I'm getting into this 5K blue eye thing, but yeah, I'm sprawled out in a little sexy pose. just so I can get a better shot for you guys, so you can say I love alligators a little bit better. Oh, we just had Elizabeth pop up. Elizabeth is there in the back. Elizabeth is kind of a fun alligator. I have trained her. Alligators can respond to different things. If you haven't seen my YouTubes yet, and shame on you, you should. What are you doing? Just hit the subscribe button right now. I'll even pause so you won't miss anything cool with the alligators. We'll give everybody a few seconds to hit that subscribe button. It does not cost you any money. You don't get any extra emails. It's nothing, but it helps me take care of my alligators. So hit the subscribe. We're all gonna do it together on the count of 2. 1, 2. Take your finger, bam. Hit that subscribe. I'm waiting. We ain't gonna do anything to you. Okay, thank you for hitting it. The alligators and I greatly appreciate it. And if you're like, that guy looks a little familiar, or maybe you came to me because of it, I was just on that TBS show called The Go Big Show, the one with Snoop Dogg and Rosario Dawson, aka Ahsoka. It also had Cody Rhodes, son of legendary wrestler Dusty Rhodes, all kinds of cool stuff. Jennifer Nettles, Bert Kreischer, all kinds of awesome things. So if you saw me on that, thank you for watching. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go to the TBS site after we're done, of course, and see me and the Gators showing off on national TV. We were pretty excited about that opportunity, because it gave us an opportunity to tell everyone across America how awesome alligators are. And like I said, the point, by the time we were done, hopefully anybody watching liked alligators a little bit more, maybe is motivated now to donate to crocodile conservation. That's the whole reason we did it. So hopefully we had people from around America saying alligators are awesome. Right? I'm kind of laughing that finally my camera works on a cold day. And what we consider cold in Florida, probably the rest of the world does not consider cold. But now that I figured out how to get this camera working, hopefully I can figure it out again. I'm good with alligators, not as great with technology. Sorry if I keep looking down. I am live inside a gator pen. This is one thing that's different than my normal, super hilarious, very engaging, normal YouTube videos that you need to watch. Is those are all packaged and edited and made sure they look right. Woo! When I'm in here live, I could get eaten right here in front of your face. The cool thing is the camera is waterproof, so if that happens, you should get a really awesome view of a feeding frenzy. If I do get pulled in, my promise to you guys is I will try to keep the cameras on. And for everybody, of course, I hear this a million billion times from people who are so smart. Oh, if you work with gators, it's definitely gonna happen. One day you will definitely die, for sure, without a doubt. That's like saying just because you drive on the road one day, you're definitely for sure gonna die in an accident. But anyways, we're keeping the negativity somewhere else. This place, we're gonna try to do it all about positivity. But let this be stated right here and right now. If something ever does happen with the gators and me, if they ever do get me, I don't blame the gators. It is not their fault, and I don't regret choosing this career. I don't regret a single thing. If I got anybody ever to be inspired to donate to conservation even one time, if I got anybody even one time saying alligators are awesome and they like them more than before they saw me, then I do not regret a single thing. Mission accomplished, life super well lived. So you can play that when I'm gone. They'll be like, I think there was a YouTube video somewhere. And now that we are live, I have all kinds of cool stories that I can tell. that I don't know if it would make grand YouTube videos, but it would make fun live streams. Let's see if we can get the gate. Oh, look at that. We got myself and the alligators in the shot at the same time. That's some classic stuff there. Woo! Somebody needs to just for men their beard. Next time I go live, I will not be looking like this. So if you happen to like that salted pepper or just salt look, enjoy it. It's not gonna be there again. Oh, sorry. I took Thor out of the picture. He's like, keep me in the picture. That's why anybody's watching. But I have all kinds of cool stories I could tell you. Like, there was a time I went to WrestleMania and I started crying when The Rock entered the ring, but it wasn't because I love The Rock so much. It actually is the alligator's fault. Seriously, I'm blaming the alligators on crying? Yes, but you gotta stay tuned. You gotta hit subscribe. You gotta watch some of my live streams to learn that story. There was also, remember we mentioned Dusty Rhodes earlier? See, everything comes back around. One time I got a terrible, horrible bite from an alligator, and me knowing Dusty Rhodes somehow kept my arm after the bite from the gator from getting infected. How in the world does a former pro wrestler prevent an alligator bite from infection? Ooh, well, you gotta listen to some of my live streams. Plus, what is it like getting bit by an alligator? What does it feel like? Those are stories for future live streams. Now that I've got this new GoPro, now that I figured it out, oh, you guys are gonna hear a whole lot of fun stories. Oh, I almost fell. Right, Chewy? What do you think? You say hi to everybody? And like I always say, all these alligators do have different personalities. I always like to say an alligator enclosure is a lot like a school classroom. The same personalities that you would see us have. Plus, we can always associate with school. It's like, oh, I remember this character. And let's be honest, high school never ends. The same characters that you met in high school, you see in regular life forever. There's always an alligator who's like a teacher's pet, who always tries to follow my training and is like, see, I did it good, didn't I? I did it good, didn't I? There's usually an alligator who's a bully. Oh, does that sound like you, Thor? Does that sound like you? There's usually one who's a bully. There's usually, believe it or not, an alligator who's a little more relaxed, a little more laid back, kind of chill. That would be our Sam the alligator. There's usually one who's a little more athletic, like the quarterback of the football team. There's one who's like a loner, likes to hang out all by themselves. There's usually one that all the other gators kind of pick on. We would have called it a nerd back in our day. I feel like in today's day and age, there are probably more politically correct words. So I don't know what the right word is for it, but that's what we would have called it. There's usually one of those in every enclosure, like Mr. Fiddlesticks back there. And if you continue to watch me, you will start to see those personalities in action. You'll start to watch, because this is really not about me. I know I'm focusing it on me a lot, but pretty soon it's gonna be about these alligators. You're gonna want to see every day, like, oh, how's Thor doing? Is Thor still being mean to Chewie? Is Sam still trying to stop fights? That actually happened once. Thor and Chewie were about to get at each other. They were face to face with their mouths open. And I was like, oh man, a fight is coming for sure. And then Sam swims right in between them, almost like, come on guys, let's not fight. And the first time I saw that, I'm like, well, that just had to be a crazy coincidence. There's no way there's like a peaceful gator that stopped a fight. But then I started thinking, that is the alligator that likes classical music. And then there was almost another fight like a week later. Once again, Sam swims right in between them. Like, come on, we don't have to fight. And I've worked with gators 30 years, 30. That's why I got this old man beard. It's not going great early. It's because I'm a legit old man. But in 30 years, that's the only alligator I've ever seen that was like, oh, come on, let's make peace. But we're going to learn all that by watching them. So pretty soon we're going to say, huh, I wonder if Thor is still being a little aggressive. Is Sam still our cool, laid-back, chill? If I didn't know any better, he's like our 420 gator, but I know they're not doing that. He's just the cool, relaxed, it's all right, dudes. Let's just listen to music and peace. It's like Bill and Ted put together. Right, Chewy? Chewy used to be like the teacher's pet. Every time I gave a command. And if you're not familiar, you can train alligators. These guys are super duper duper smart. Gonna teach them all kinds of things. Once again, if you watch my YouTube videos, you'll see that. I train them different things. I teach them their names. I teach them to stop. I teach them to hold. Big thing we do is called desensitization, so they get used to human touch. So that way, if a vet needs to come in and look at them, they can actually be touched and take shots without jumping on their back or hurting them. Because if you saw my big TV appearance, and I probably will be mentioning my super cool TV appearance a lot. Did I mention I was on TV with Snoop Dogg? Yeah! With alligators. It's pretty cool. I'll be talking about that one till the day I die. Oh boy. But Chewy used to be definitely the teacher's pet. Oh, look at this gator. He's sneaking up underwater. When it gets really, really cold. Oh, that was Sam. I guess he just wanted to get a better look at the camera. When it get look at, okay, here's part of why my training works pretty well. See how Thor has his mouth open all the time? One of the main things I've been trying to teach Thor is the smile command, or the open, where they open their mouth. And then I like to see how long he can leave it open. I'll tell him, open, smile, Thor, smile. And then I'll try to walk away, hold, see if he'll still smile, and then come up, see if he's still smiling. Sometimes I'll even turn my back, and then turn back around. Is he still smiling? Yes. I'll go talk to the alligator, say, keep holding, Thor. I'll talk to the other alligators, give them attention. Come back, is he still smiling? Yes, he is. So because I've been working so hard on teaching him to smile, you'll notice pretty much every time I put the camera anywhere near him, he's like, hey, Dad, look, I'm smiling. You see it? I'm holding to see if he'll notice. Let's see if he's still smiling. Yep, even when I talk to you guys out in YouTube land, he's like, I'm still doing it. So I'm pretty excited about you learning all these Gators personalities. Like I said, I'm super excited. I figured out with my brand new Christmas camera how to do these live streams. Whew, it is so cold though. So I just wanted you to say hi to all our friends again. Once again, we've got Mr. Chewy. We've got Sam, Shakespeare, Amadeus, McFancy Pants, the alligator. Let's see. Oh, shoot. We've got Thor, who's always smiling, always ready to go. We've got Fiddlesticks there in the back. Elizabeth is somewhere under the water. And then we got George right here. And Thor is kind of chasing all the other gators back. Oh, George is upset. If you notice, I just said his name and didn't give him a treat. So he's kind of like growling at me like, Dad, I opened my mouth, I put my head in the air just like you wanted, and you gave me no treat. And then if you look on the other side of Thor, Fiddlesticks is under the water right there. It's really hard to see. Now you can see how alligators sneak up on people so well. I mean, this water isn't even that deep. And he's actually really hard to see. If I didn't point out that gator right there, you might not even notice them. And that's how they attack. Bah! They come right up out of the water and get you. In fact, there is an extra gator in this water, Elizabeth. And she's so hard to see. I bet you can't even see her with the camera. I know where she's at, but I'm not gonna tell. You can put in the comment section where you think she's at. Being sneaky, but that just shows. And if you think, oh man, these gators don't have this much room, let me reassure you, these are all rescued gators. They were all at a farm. They were going to be wallets and handbags. Didn't want that to happen, so I brought them here. But this is not their permanent enclosure. We're actually working on building a huge enclosure for them, so they have plenty of room. So right now they're in like a little studio apartment, but that's all right. We saved their lives, and we're getting ready to build them a giant, I'd call it a super suite. So they're gonna be moving on up to the big time, to the big time. We finally got a gator piece of the pie. So don't worry, not only did we save their lives, but we're working on building a giant enclosure for them, and you can watch along with that. So once again, we've got Chewy, we've got Sam, we've got Thor, we've got George. We even have Fiddlesticks right there under the water. But there is one more gator named Elizabeth that is under the water somewhere. I'm going to bring it on through. If you see that tail back there, that is still all from Fiddlesticks. Right there is Fiddlesticks. So you got to look super hard, but there is one more gator under this water. But the fact that it's so hard to see is exactly why alligators are so good at hunting, and why alligators are awesome. See, we love to say that phrase. And if you're wondering why are they going underwater like this, remember I said it's very, oh man, look at that hair. We're putting this back on. We not only have to just for men the beard, we're gonna have to just for men the head. So next time we're on, you're gonna see a whole different Gator Crusader. But oh yeah, I almost forgot. The reason that alligators sometimes do go underwater, I said it's cold. At least for Florida, we consider it cold. It's about 50 degrees or so. When it gets cold like that for alligators and Floridians, what alligators tend to do is sink to the bottom of their water, and they don't go into hibernation, but they sit really still. A lot of times they'll cut off their blood flow to their limbs and their tail, and they just have their blood circulating around their important vital body organs. And so they sit to the bottom, they don't move. It allows them to stay under for hours at a time, and the bottom of the water takes longer to get cold than the surface. Just like if you ever see a cool lake, you know, the top will freeze over, but the bottom still, you know, is not frozen. Very seldom you see a lake completely frozen all the way through. That's why in all those movies you see people walking on the thin ice and they're like, ah! You know, that kind of thing. So that, I guess the gators have seen those adventure movies and they figured out and learned to stay under the water. So right now we got 2 alligators under the water. Can you find both of them? All right, well, my battery is about to run out, and I just wanted to give you a fun little introduction to their personalities. In all honesty, I did not think this live was going to work. Like I said, I've been trying it since freaking Christmas Day when I got this super cool camera. And today's the first day it actually works. So I'm like, well, if it's working, that must mean we're meant to go live. And keep in mind, guys, I do this, number one, because I want you to say alligators are awesome. I also live stream and do fun, exciting, dangerous things with alligators for you. If you were the only person watching me, if you're the only person that ever watched my channel, you are that important, you are that special. I would do this just for you. Yes, you who's pointing to yourself. So if you ever feel unloved or not special or lonely, know that there's a crazy gator guy who risks his life with gators just for you. Never forget, you are that important. So the main reason I do this is to provide some kind of fun, crazy, kooky entertainment for you. I know life is hard, I know life is tough, and if you see this crazy, silly guy singing to his alligators in a pen filled with gators, hopefully you can forget about all that crap of the world for a few minutes, and you are that important. So, don't forget you're that important. Don't forget alligators are awesome. And be sure to subscribe to our page. You can also go to GatorCrusader.com. Almost forgot the commercial. GatorCrusader.com. You can get t-shirts, alligator tooth necklaces, art made by these alligators, all kinds of cool stuff. So don't forget that. Look at Thor. He's still smiling. He's like, Dad, I've been smiling the whole time.